So in this video, I'm going to be giving an update of my first month with JavaScript. My learning process with JavaScript has been really bumpy. I've truly been tested. I've laughed, I've screamed, I've yelled at my computer a bunch because my code isn't working. I've also started over multiple times because I've had no idea what I was doing, and only now am I truly beginning to understand what's going on with JavaScript. So in the month of August, I've switched back and forth between Codecademy and an Udemy course that I was taking, and I had trouble learning from both of them. So let's start with Codecademy. I wasn't doing very well with Codecademy because their platform is geared towards somebody who could pick up concepts very quickly and focus for long periods of time, and that's definitely not me. In my opinion, their learning sections are way too long and there is way too much reading involved. I like to absorb a small amount of information through an entertaining means of learning and then apply that information very quickly after learning it. For me, the issue with learning concepts through reading is that there's no personality, there's no tone, and the information is dry. And that's exactly how I felt with Codecademy. I think their learning platform is way too boring for me to stay focused on. So trying to learn JavaScript concepts, advanced JavaScript concepts through this platform was mental torture. Also, their learning section content doesn't really match up too well with the projects. Their projects were way too complicated for me because I couldn't understand the basic concepts through their learning platform. So when it came time to build their projects, I would get absolutely wrecked. I was dealing with frustration pretty much every day, and it was causing a lot of stress. I just felt like their concepts got too complicated way too quickly for no reason. Also, in the month of August, I tried a Udemy course that I also struggled with. Now, the coursework in this course wasn't really too difficult. It was just the person teaching it was so boring. I got through about 40% of the course before I just had enough and quit. There was something like 100 short videos that were 20 minutes long, and they really needed to be like 8 to 10 minutes long for this course. I would lose focus halfway through the video and then have to go back and start over again because I completely spaced out. So needless to say, I stopped learning from that course too. So the month of August was a real struggle, but the amount of effort that I put into learning versus what I actually learned did not add up. Since the beginning of September though, I actually started learning from another learning resource that matches my learning style perfectly. So I've been doing really well since then. However, this video is not about September, it's about August. And now's the part that you've been waiting for. Here are my projects.
All right, so for this project, I made a magic 8-ball, which if you don't know is a toy from, I think it's the 80s or even the 90s. We have an 8-ball and you ask it a question and then you shake it and then it's supposed to give you a random answer. So if we take a look at the code here, here's my HTML, very basic, not a whole lot to write out here. Here is the CSS that I used. Again, very basic stuff. It's not perfect. It's not even responsive, but it works. And then here's the JavaScript. Again, very basic, very simple. I'm creating a random number, and whatever random number is created here from 1 through 8 is going to correspond to one of these answers. I also wrote some notes here. So this is typically what I do. I kind of write out like what I want to do, and then I make little steps here. And then as I go through creating the project, I'll start checking off the things that I completed. Now we can see what is actually going on here. So here's a title, Magic 8-Ball, right? And you're supposed to type a question in this input field here. So let's see what I get. Will I ever understand JavaScript? And let's click, let's see what our Magic 8-Ball gives us here. Outlook is not so good. Sounds about right. And then to reset it, all you have to do is go up and click on the question field again, and it resets everything. You know, I didn't like that answer. Let's type it again and see what we got. Do not count. Probably. So this is my first project. I did this all on my own. I did not follow a tutorial for this one. So I'm really, really proud of this project. So this is my second project that I worked on. I did follow a tutorial for this one, but I didn't copy everything from the tutorial. There was a good amount of stuff in here that I did on my own. And it's basically at the, let's just say at like the bottom of a website for a product. There's different reviews. You get to read the reviews and you click next to see, you know, the next review or the previous review. So here is my HTML. Again, very basic stuff here. Here is the CSS that I wrote. Also really basic, easy stuff. And then here is the JavaScript. Now, this took me a while to really understand, and basically using arrays and objects. Again, I had to follow the tutorial a little bit, but it was interesting how I learned how to dynamically populate HTML. So here is the JavaScript that I wrote for this project, and here's what it looks like. So you see the little review card here. I put pictures of clouds just because I didn't want to put real people. You have your picture, your name, what you do, and then your review. And then when you click next, it goes on to the next review. That moved really slowly. I don't know why. But here is the next review, and then it kind of just keeps going. I only have 3 reviews here. But yeah, that was this is my second project. This is where I learned how to make gradients with the background here. I actually really like this one. It looks kind of cool. Now I'm going to be completely honest here. I copied this project from a tutorial. I had no idea what I was doing. Besides the HTML and CSS, the JavaScript, I just copied and wrote a bunch of notes. There's still some notes in my HTML, but here is the HTML, and here is the CSS. Oh, I guess I copied the CSS too. I can't even feel proud about that. And then this is the JavaScript. This also, although I copied it, it also helped me learn how to dynamically populate HTML. So that was really good. I did learn from this, although I copied from a tutorial. Here is the JavaScript for that website. Oh, and here, for this one, I made sure to create a separate script file so I could take down a bunch of notes. So here is the menu. I actually took this from a free code camp tutorial, so completely stolen here, except for the pictures. I picked those. And what was really cool was to learn how to separate each button from a certain category on the menu. So if I click breakfast, it'll go to just pancakes. If I click lunch, we have our burger. It says shakes here, but it's supposed to be for ice cream, but you get the point. And that's it.
So that's my JavaScript learning journey for the month of August. If you want to continue to follow me through this learning process, go ahead and subscribe. I'll see you next time.